La la la, lu 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 lu, ba 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 ba. Okay. What's up, everybody? So I haven't done one of these videos since the new year. So first item on the agenda is Happy New Year. I hope that everyone's doing absolutely amazing and that, you know, light is in your life. I talk about light a lot just because I feel like, you know, when the sun rays like hit your skin and you're just like, oh, this feels amazing. I feel like light and brightness always makes people happy in the sun. And if you're someone who doesn't like the sun, I'm pretty sure you like bright spaces. And if you don't like bright spaces, just bear with me. I'm just trying to tell you that I care about you, and I hope that you're having an incredible first month and almost a half of the new year. So this is gonna be a thinking out loud sort of video. Most of mine are, but I said that I would be doing more of these, and I had scheduled in to have sort of either a blog post coming out every Monday or a video coming out every Monday under my Mindful Mondays hashtag. So yeah, I guess that this is the first official video of that. Since the year has begun, I've had like the same conversation with 4 or 5 different people. And so I thought that I would talk about it. And it's all about this idea of, oh, had I known about this, I would have done this differently, or had I had this information, I would have moved in this direction, or just this idea that where we are right now could be better, or we should have achieved more, or we should be doing more. And I 100% can relate to that feeling. Growing up, like when I was really, really young, I wanted to be a marine biologist. And then I wanted to be a journalist, which I think works more with who I am now. But then I decided that I was going to go to med school. And I ended up doing a biomedical science degree in order to get into med school. Things went disastrously wrong for me, and then I just had it wasn't an epiphany, it was a long stretch of time thinking about what I'm doing with my life. And so I found out that medicine wouldn't have been for me, even though I like knowing about the human sciences. Being a doctor wouldn't have been for me. And then I did a public health degree, and I specialized in global health, which is everything to me and encompasses so many things that I'm really passionate about. But even then, I'm still very much interested in how this works. Being a creative individual, being a photographer, being a blogger and a writer, and how all of those things can sort of fit together. That's where I am at like 26 years old. I want to see how I can make everything function together. Whereas in my past, I've very much separated those different sides to me. Now, had I chosen a more creative field, or had I chosen journalism from the get-go, yes, I would have been way ahead in this career progression. But what I wouldn't have had are the lessons that I've come to be very grateful for by going down different paths and learning different things and meeting different people and stumbling across different obstacles. I wouldn't have life lessons. And I think that whenever we see people achieving things, whether they're in our field or they're the same age as us, it's very easy to want to be there. But know that even if there was some sort of scientific solution to teleporting yourself into someone else's path, you will not be where they are. Because I very much believe that this journey of life that we're on comes with lessons and experiences and moments that are very much tailored to us and our chemistry and our makeup. There are certain lessons that I had to learn that some of my friends didn't have to learn because they didn't have those issues, or they didn't have that mindset that needed to be shifted. For me, it was very much about being a perfectionist. I had to learn that it is not on my time. I cannot be entitled to things. Things happen as they may. All I have control over is how I'm actively pursuing my dreams. But I have to be very open and, I guess, malleable to the changes that may occur. To being okay with what I thought would happen not happening. Because if I am someone who's of faith, then I have to believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a way greater plan for me. And sometimes what I want and what's best for me may not align, and when they don't align, then you will be shown that it ain't for you. So the conversations that I had with some friends is that, you know, I could have done this differently, or I could have done that differently. And I just sort of feel like, don't be so hard on yourself. You couldn't have known any better when you were 16, 18, 21. I think that there's certain choices that I'm making now that I may look back on in 10 years time and be like, girl, really? You know? And that's life. If we knew everything, then what really is this journey about? Like, if everything's grand and everything's beautiful and everything's perfect all the time, then doesn't that make it a bit boring? Doesn't that sort of stifle our growth in a way? If there is no hardship, there can't be any learning. There can't be any resilience that is built. But we all have our personal stories, and I can't copy paste my struggles onto someone else, and I can't be like, oh yeah, what you're dealing with ain't shit, you know, and what I'm dealing with is the only thing. I think perspective is really, really important. And if you're someone who is sort of regretting certain choices that you made and certain paths that you took, you're still here, which means your time's not up. Which means that you still have story to write. You still have places to go. So by all means, please go to those places. See those things, experience those moments. Keep learning, keep changing, pivot. Ladies and gentlemen, if something isn't working for you, you're allowed to pivot. You're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to change what kind of life you see for yourself. There is no such thing as, oh, well, what are people going to think? One thing is that what other people think about the choices that you make for your life doesn't matter. Because ultimately, you need to do things from the core of yourself. Doing things for other people, best believe, is going to lead to resentment, right? Don't care about what people are saying. And if you think that you're the only one who has the pressure of people's opinions and expectations, trust me, that's a global thing. Because we've all been conditioned with these expectations of what it should be. The craziest thing is that I remember my mom telling me so many times, like growing up, that whenever I was having a bad day, she would always be like, there's someone having an even worse day. And she would always try to like give me this perspective, but it was never like getting in here, right? And so I would always be absorbed with like, whenever things were going wrong, it was just like the end of the world. And maybe that's also like being a teenager, but like everything felt so heavy. And I think that one of the greatest lessons and one of the greatest wisdoms is that exactly. On your best day, it's always going to be someone's worst day. And on your worst day, that's someone's best day. And that's why we can never measure ourselves on anyone else's scale but our own. It's our time, it's our path, it's our destiny. Everything else is about connecting with people. But when it comes to our individual journey and what we want to accomplish, the only validation that you need to seek is one, the validation that we get by just existing. The fact that we're here means that we're meant to be here. That you're worthy of being here. You're alive. You woke up when many didn't. You're breathing. You're existing. That is your validation. And if that isn't good enough, you need to find that within yourself. Those are the only two places that you need validation from. Not from a person, not from a job, not from your accolades and accomplishments, because trust me, those two, your accolades and accomplishments, will leave you empty if you're having a bad day and you can't lean on that, then you start looking for who you are. Validate yourself in here. Know who you are. Learn yourself. Trust yourself. Not by the world's metrics, by whatever works for you and gives you peace. So, I've been thinking out loud. I think I've gotten that off my chest. I think that you've heard me. If this has been a good video to sort of watch on your Monday, then forward it to whoever you think needs to see it. Share it, like it, comment, tell me what you think. Tell me if you disagree. That's always great conversation. But until next Monday, I hope that you guys have an absolutely beautiful week. I hope that it's filled with abundance and light and kind people. And yeah, be kind to yourselves, guys. I guess that's it. Peace. Bye, everyone.